Hi, Sagittarius Sun and Rising. Welcome to your August 2025 Astro Update. It's Raina here. Well, I'm a Sun in Sagittarius, so I'm excited to dive right into this reading as well. I haven't really been paying attention to how the transits will affect Sag. I just kind of pressed record and I'm thinking about it. But I want you to remember, if you are a Sun in Sagittarius, that you have a rising sign, and your rising sign can be totally different. Mine is in a late degree of Taurus, so it's like totally different than my sun sign. And that changes everything. A lot of the predictive astrology is actually the rising sign, but it's not to say that your sun sign astrology can't touch upon themes that are happening for you, though. I like to look at both. And, but anyway, I just wanted to point that out. So I'm going to start by talking about a couple of things that we're coming into the month of August with, because this is very important in terms of like how this impacts us, how, like setting the table for August. So first of all, when this happens every August, the month begins with the sun in Leo, and that is a fellow fire sign to Sag. So that trines us, and it's trining us from the ninth house. This is the house that we rule in astrology. This is the house that is all about our expansion. So if we talk about our mental expansion, this can involve intellectual matters. This is the house of the higher mind. So yeah, we can talk about the university if you're somebody that teaches at a university or is a student or a potential student. Yes, it could have something to do with that. But there's also the the university of life itself. And the ninth house is the house of the philosophical framework, like what we think the meaning of life is. And even an atheist, whether they know it or not, is actually formulating some kind of a framework about life, a philosophy of life. Everyone has their own theory. Even if some people are like, maybe some people, life is meaningless and they're just kind of sleepwalking through life and they really don't think there's much else out there, but you're just keeping your body alive and you're just doing what you need to do to make that happen. Going to work, rinse, wash, repeat, whatever. But people who really think about this deeply, we call those people philosophers. And the ninth house is all about that. And spirituality is, a form of philosophy. And that's what the ninth house is the God house. It's also the house of long distance travel. So Mercury is going to begin retrograding. I believe it's on July 18th. I'm actually recording before July 18th, so I haven't memorized exactly when the Mercury retrograde is, but it's in July and will be going on through August 11th. And Mercury comes out of its shadow, meaning it comes back up to the degree that it retrograded at on August 26th. So basically, that is saying that after August 26th, Mercury is going to be functioning normally. So in the ninth house, this could lead to travel cancellations or it's more like travel delays. Or you might be delaying it on your own. It's not coming from outside of you. You're rethinking a trip that you want to take. Or if you're already traveling at this time, which could very well be the case, you may go somewhere that you've been before, retrace your steps, do something um, have a change of plans. And so if you are in that situation, make sure to keep your documents very close to you and, always be on top of that, because a Mercury retrograde could be some kind of mix up with your passport or anything like that. As a matter of fact, if you're listening in July, you might want to take care of those things sooner rather than later, because if you try to get your passport during a Mercury retrograde, it might be delayed and, because of that. The other thing that is going on is that we have the two benefic planets in astrology, Venus and Jupiter, in Cancer. Now, I'm not one of those people that likes to say, okay, this planet is good, this planet is bad. So benefic, we would say these are good planets. But they're planets that exert beneficial influences on us primarily. And when there is like a hard angle to one of these planets, we could say it's more like excess than it is some kind of like horrible situation. So too much of a good thing. Cancer for Sagittarius falls in the 8th house. One of the features of the 8th house is other people's money. So you could see with both of these planets there, and they both can be connected to money, that other people's money, you could benefit from that at this time. Examples of this are inheritance, or if you have some kind of, like, if somebody's gotten a divorce and they're splitting up the, money that is generated from a relationship. But even, I would even say any kind of investments, I believe that could be 8th house, because it's not money that you have earned yourself. So dividends and things of that nature, or even your partner, if you are coupled, they may experience this and then you benefit because of them. Another thing that this can bring with Venus by itself is more depth in love, bonding at a deeper level. Jupiter can be studying things of a metaphysical nature, and that being very lucky for you at this time. And this is going to be a theme with Jupiter for the next 12 months. So even though Venus is leaving this house at the end of August, Jupiter will remain there. On the 6th, Mars goes into Libra. This is a friendly angle to Sag. It's the 11th house, and this is the house of friendships, group associations. I'm going to even go out and say the internet. The 3rd house is now kind of like assigned the internet, but and I was saying to somebody that I could have sworn early on that I saw the 11th house connected to the internet. And it makes a lot of sense, because the 11th house is the collective, and it's also technology. So you could be really putting yourself out there at that time. But even like in terms of dealing with other people, there's like this kind of sense of urgency, like networking. And certainly digital networking is a thing. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be in person, but something going on with that. And who knows, maybe it is connected to career matters. But you are doing that. You do have to be careful with any kind of clash with people, because Mars is aggressive. It can bring up drama or conflict, or group. I mean, this could be even activism, because the 11th house is a humanitarian house. So this could be the social justice warrior. And I know that there are I know there are Sages that are like that are very strident and preachy and, whatever you want to call it. Um, on the 9th, we have a full moon at 17 degrees of Aquarius. Now, that's really interesting. That's almost like mutual reception. Probably not, but, in my mind, because I was just talking about the 11th house. That is Aquarius's house. This full moon is occurring in the 3rd house for Sag, another sextile. But this is in the ahead of us. And the 3rd house is what is thought of now as social media. So that could be when you achieve some kind of goal. If you've been trying to make a name for yourself, this could be kind of a watershed moment, a breakthrough when it comes to kind of your online presence. People may, maybe let's say you have a YouTube channel. That could be 3rd house. And you've been plugging away, and then all of a sudden it kind of takes off. By the way, I'm not really much on promoting myself, but I have a second channel, and I've been kind of inconsistent with it. So I'm hoping that maybe that'll be when I have a breakthrough myself. But if you're interested in the tarot, I think I might just make it love readings, because I do post tarot readings on this channel, which is my main channel. That channel is called Tarot Alchemy by Raina Moon. And I I've just been kind of sporadically posting videos there, and not even of all the signs. So anyway, this could be that kind of scenario where you start to see the fruits of your action. What is it called? The fruits of your efforts or whatever. Maybe that's when that happens. The 3rd house can be your siblings. You may hear about them, some news about them, or have an insight about your relationship with them. On the 22nd, the sun goes into Virgo, and the very next day we have a new moon at 0 degrees of Virgo. This is considered a black moon because it's the second new moon in a month. The other one was actually in Leo. And we're also having a solar eclipse in Virgo. When I was looking at the astrology for 2025, it was my assumption that the black moon was actually the one in September. And I keep seeing that it's the one on the 23rd of the month. I wonder if it's actually both, but everything I researched suggests that it's going to be this one and only this one. And that actually, the one in September, since it's a solar eclipse, that's powerful in its own right. But this is considered powerful for manifestation. But the funny thing is, I heard another astrologer say that the one in September is the black moon. So, I think it can be both. But let's put it this way. This is in the 10th house for Sagittarius, the house of career. This is a general reading, so we have to keep that in mind in terms of where it's actually going to fall. So you have to know your individual chart. But wow, just wow. Because I think this is a very powerful period for Sagittarians when it comes to anything related to career matters. And I definitely think that Sagittarians should pay attention to this and be intentional, meaning that you really, take some time aside to, dream big about what you want to manifest in the next year, or even like, I mean, that solar eclipse between August and September, a lot of things can happen as well. And it might surprise you how quickly you can manifest career advancement. So just keep that in mind. On the 25th, Venus goes into Leo, so Venus goes into that ninth house. Venus in the ninth can be love with somebody from a foreign country. So that could be, or it could be a foreign country, or it could be somebody who is of a different nationality. So, well, that would be from a foreign country. I was going to say a different ethnicity. They could be born here in your country of origin, but they might be of a different ethnicity than you, or a different race. And that certainly is kind of like how Sagittarius tends to operate, because Sagittarians tend to be broad-minded people, and that can mean that they are attracted to people that are different from them. If you have been wanting to travel, you may finally have the funds, the money to do so. And the very next day, Mercury comes out of its shadow in this sector. So it's like all systems are go for that. Okay, Sag, are you looking forward to August? I sure am. And I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings. I have actually more than one double reading, but the one I'm talking about specifically is called Deep Dive, and it is an hour of natal chart analysis and an hour of transits for the upcoming 12 months based on your natal chart. And it is at a special price because you're buying those readings together. I do offer them separately. And if you like the tarot as well, I have a package deal that combines those two astrological readings plus a full-length tarot reading called The Whole Enchilada. And I have career readings, love readings. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for listening. Bye.